What's up, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be talking about scouting mistakes. So stick around because we're getting started right now. What's up, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. And like I said, today we're going to be talking about scouting mistakes that duck hunters make. I figured today would be a good time to do this video because I'm kind of wrapping up this scouting video series I've been working on. If you missed the first two videos of this series, I'll drop a link right up here. Go check those videos out. I made a little playlist called Scouting 101. Go check that out if you haven't watched those videos already. Now, let's dive into today's video. Scouting mistake number one, not scouting. I know I'm guilty of this in the past. I'm sure you are too. Is you get kind of caught up in the flow of season. You've been on a pretty good run. Maybe you've been on a dry run. Your spirits are down. You just can't get motivated and you don't do no scouting. When you decide you're going to go hunting in the morning or the next day or whatever, and you just decide, yeah, man, I'm just going to go over here where I've been hunting. You know, last time I was there, I killed a couple. I just go over there and, you know, just see what I can do. Guys, don't do that. Keep scouting. Your season and your hunt is only going to be as good as the amount of effort that you put into it. So don't stop scouting, okay? Just because you got a lot of information about one particular area and you've hunted it a lot, you got a lot of good history with that area, you know what it's going to do, you know the birds like that area, don't mean that you just stop scouting. You need to be looking at other places. Birds get pressured. They get used to, oh, well, if you go over there by such and such hole, oh, Alan's going to be over there laying a smack down. We got to get away from there. We got to go somewhere else. Got to keep scouting, guys. Don't stop scouting. Keep moving. Boots on the ground. Tires on the road. Rubber on the road. Get out there. Eyes on the hole. Scout, scout, scout. Don't stop. Your season will only be as good as the amount of effort that you put into it. Scouting mistake number two, no homework. Guys, this is a big one. And what I mean by no homework is when you decide to go scout, you need to have done your homework before you ever left the house. And by that, I mean picking out a location, checking it out. How am I going to get in there? Is it walk-in only? Can I boat into it? Can I do both? Can I access it by boat and by walking in? You need to know all this stuff before you ever even leave your house. So you have those things with you. You don't need to go just drive up there to a public hunting area, get out in the parking area and start walking and get out there and be like, whoa, man, this water's too deep. I can't get over there where I want to be. You need to know these things, okay? Not only that, you need to kind of have an idea of the terrain. You know, how thick is the grass? How am I going to hide? All these kind of things. You need to kind of have a general idea of what you're getting into when scouting a new area before you ever get in the vehicle to leave your house or hunting cabin, wherever you're at, and go do the scouting. You need to have this little general information already done with your e-scouting, looking at public atlases, looking at Onyx, state and public websites, those type of things. Have a general idea of the location you're going to before you ever go scouting. So make sure you do your homework. That's a really, really big one. You can eliminate a lot of things before you even go and get out there. So do your homework. Scouting mistake number three, spooking the birds. I've done this. I'm guilty. I'm sure you have. I honestly don't know any duck hunter who hasn't done it. We've all done it. A lot of times it's by mistake. Sometimes it's on purpose. It happens. You know, it is what it is. But spooking the birds. Here's the problem with spooking the birds. As you know, if you spook them, there's a really good chance they may not come back. That's the big one. They may not come back. Depending on how long they've been using that area, if they've been using that particular area or that spot for a few days, and then you finally come in there and bump them after they've been so comfortable there for a few days, they're probably not coming back. It's just a fact. But the problem with bumping them, other than they may not come back, is if you going out there to the marsh and you're doing some scouting and you spook the birds and they get up and you didn't know they were there, okay? Let's just say that. You didn't know they were there. Well, all of a sudden these birds get up, just, you know, hundreds of them get up and fly off, and you're just like, you know, just enamored by how many of it is. You're like, oh my gosh, man, they all got up out that grass over there. That's where we're going to be. I'm going to set up right there in the morning. Well, you come in the morning, you set up over there, and then daylight comes, the birds start flying in, and they're lighting 200 yards away from you. And you're like, what in the world? Or, you know, 100 yards, whatever it may be. They're lighting in a different spot. And you're like, what? And then all these birds were just right here yesterday. No, they wasn't. The thing is, they saw you, heard you. Ducks can hear. You don't think they can't? You're wrong. They can hear you. Every time you blow your duck call, the wings lock up to turn and come to you, right? They can hear you. They can hear you when you're scouting. Don't forget that. So the birds were in one place. They more than likely swam into that grass as protection. It's their natural instinct. Predators, things that's after them. They hear noises, things that don't add up. They go into cover, trying to hide. So, and then the noises got louder, they got more nervous, got scared. Whew, they all picked up and left. But they done swam 100 yards or 50 yards or whatever away from where they actually were, where they wanted to be, where they were comfortable, where they were feeding. You pushed them into the grass and they got up. Now you get up the next morning and go over there, you set up in the grass thinking you on the X and you're 150 yards away from it. Don't spook the birds. Take your time. Just sit there and watch them. Just watch them. See what they do. See where they're the most comfortable. Wherever all the birds that are coming in are lighting at, that's where they're the most comfortable. That's where they want to be. That's the X. Don't spook the birds. Scouting mistake number 4. And this one really goes back to number 3 about not spooking the birds. But scouting mistake number 4 is too noisy. The hunters are being too noisy. And what I mean by that is, all right, you pull up to a public hunting area. You pull up to a public marsh. You can see the marsh from the parking area. You're looking around before you ever even leave the truck. You're like, man, you're looking in your binoculars. You don't see any birds. You don't see anything. Nothing's dropping in from the sky. No birds are working. So you're like, all right, let's go. You pull on your waders. You want to walk out there and check out the marsh, see what's out there, check out possible hide situations, those type things. You get out there and you're just stomping and splashing in the knee-deep water. Guys, that is so loud and extremely unnatural. You sound like a deer or a bear or something just barreling through the water. Guys, ducks, that is not normal. They know that sound means danger. Leave, get out of here. So the first thing they're going to do, like I said in number 3, they're going to swim up in that grass first and try to hide. They're going to get in some cover. And then as it gets louder and it gets louder, they're gone. So be quiet, man. If you can get in some deeper water, if you have to walk through the water to get to a spot that you want to scout, try to find the deeper the water, because the deeper that water is, the slower you can move, okay? And you can be quiet. If you can get up in some waist deep water, you can walk very quietly like a Navy SEAL in that deeper water than you can in water that's knee deep or less, because your feet are splashing, you're kicking water, it's noisy. Try to find the deeper water and do your scouting that way, okay? Be really quiet. When you get where you want to be, just sit and watch. See where the birds want to go, where they want to be, and where they're the most comfortable. But you've got to be quiet. And scouting mistake number 5 is not networking. This is a big one, guys. I know some people, I have talked to some people, even friends of mine, they're like, man, I am not sharing no information. I work too hard to get the information on the places I hunt. I am not going to go tell anybody. And I'm not talking about just tell anybody. But, you know, for those of you who don't know me personally, I have a very tight circle. I communicate with very few people. Other than family, I'm talking about friend-wise, I communicate with very few people. Very small circle. But within that circle is a huge level of trust. So we network. Me and the guys within my little circle, we do network. We share information. Even if we're on the road, even if we're out of state, 4 or 5 states away, if a friend of mine in that circle has hunted that area, hunted that location I'm going to, we share information. You've got to network. So guys, don't be don't be all, I don't know what the word would be. Don't be stingy. That's a good word. Don't be stingy with your information that you obtain from scouting, because everybody doesn't have as much time as maybe you have to scout. You know, some people, you know, work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, and they don't have time to get out there and scout. They don't have any off days before their actual off days on the weekend when they can hunt. They don't have any off time before their hunt days. They don't have time to scout. So people like that, friends like that, really could benefit from networking. Now, you got people like me who have a lot of off time. I do a lot of scouting, and I do share information, but I'm very particular about who I share it with, because I have been bit before. That's why it goes back to that small circle. You gotta have a small circle. Be careful who you share with, but it's good to network. It's good to reach out. I know there's been many times I've been on the road. I come home off the road and I want to do some hunting here at home, but I've been gone for, you know, 5 to 10 days. I don't know what's going on here. I have no information. I haven't had time to scout. I haven't been here, and I want to try to do some, you know, a little quick hunt. So I pick up the phone. I call a buddy. Hey, what's going on around here? And he starts telling me, hey, look, stay away from such and such area. Nothing's going on there, but you can probably go over here to such and such creek or such and such slough, and you can probably get on a few. We share information. So don't be scared to network, guys. Share information, but be careful who you share it with, and only have a select few. Small circles make networking work. And that's all I got for you this week, guys. I hope these scouting mistakes that I brought up will help you this upcoming season as you begin your scouting in the early season and moving into your regular duck season. I hope these things can be fresh on your mind so you don't make these mistakes. All of these things can really lead to bad results, and nobody wants to get bad results when scouting, because that's discouraging. You think, man, you know, I was over there, there's nothing there, you know, and you making all these mistakes in your scouting, which is producing bad results. So just keep these things on your mind when you go out to do your scouting, so you don't make these mistakes and end up with poor results and get discouraged about your scouting. So that's all I got for you this week, guys. So until next time, y'all bust them up.